Spooky circus. Or was it a fun fair? I think it was a circus, wasn't it? What's that box there for?
Here is a good place to try and get through.
Okay. Well, we'll just ignore that for now.
That could be used as a weapon in a necessity.
What was that? Iron bar?
With this cable car, we can get up onto the warehouse roof.
Oh, God. I love how... Oh, no, I was thinking, I love how they've not bothered putting the warehouse in the background. They have. It's kinda in the background.
Cutting pliers. They could be useful.
What you mean there, Sherlock, is nice. Can I...
A crank.
Why would they lock the crank up? Crank's needed to start the engine.
This chest.
Oops, not that one. Quick.
A bottle of motor oil.
That's what I keep in my locked chests as well. Bottle of oil. You never know. I guess. So, our objective is to start the engine. Unfortunately, we're missing something. We need... Here.
Vodka. There's a little at the bottom of these bottles.
Dude, they look half full.
Holmes, the three brothers.
Ah, yes, the three Russian dudes who were arrested, weren't they?
This motor is from the cable car.
Thanks, Sherlock Holmes.
There's a little petrol left, but not enough to start the motor.
He does state the obvious things, doesn't he?
Empty. Judging by the smell, I would say that it's an oil reservoir.
Bet the oil in there's vintage as folk. So, oil.
Let's hope it works.
The crank goes in here.
The crank is in place.
And we use the vodka because everyone knows vodka is, like, fuel.
Here's what we can use
It's
for...
Russian fuel.
It works.
Nice.
I'm going to separate.
Oh.
I will find a way into the fair, and you must investigate the warehouse.
Very well, I'll do that.
There is no one on the roof. If the machine should get out of control, then just use the brake. There ought to be one.
I should hope so. Anyway, there's no other choice. And when I've found out what is going on down there, what should I do then?
Come and join me in the fairground. You can follow my route to get over the fence. Then you should find me easily enough. Good luck, my dear fellow.
Yeah, good luck in that dangerous situation all by yourself, Watson. Watson!
Come on, John. Courage.
Man up, John. I wouldn't get on that. Look how rickety that bloody thing looks. Just go into the darkness. It's just like the Awakened. You're going to see like a flash of lightning and just see like a silhouette of Cthulhu in the background. You'll be like, shit in your pants. Because you're like forever going towards death.
No one seems to have noticed me. Now I must try to find out what is going on here.
I love how useless the guards are in this. Like, how do you not notice a cable car? Like, surely you notice.
The bags contain rubble. They're tied up with good solid rope. I'll keep the rope.
Clap that. Remember you need a rope. A few of these bags have ropes in. Quick. Oh. God damn, that's bright. My eyes!
Carts from the soup kitchens. They appear to be queuing up.
So, they're poisoning the soup. I mean, it kind of makes sense. That's such a shitty thing to do. So, hold on. So, they're making... Oh, God, I got an itch in my bloody nose. They're making a poison that drives you mad. And then they are going around feeding it to everyone in Whitechapel to instigate a riot and make them absolute batshit crazy.
Inside this warehouse, but have to be careful. The place is full of guards.
Yes, I'm sure it is.
It's
Yeah, we don't need to know there's a guard over there. We can't go over that way because of the guard walking around. And apparently he doesn't hear us stamping up and down these stairs. Because he's an idiot. Ooh, wait a minute. I missed something. I should be fine. So you're probably asking yourself,
It's too dark inside this reservoir. It's impossible to see anything, but I can hear a slight lapping of water.
yes, you're probably thinking, why the hell do you need a bottle on a string? It's because of this. Yoink.
A large dry cloth.
And we need that large dry cloth. There's method in this madness, even though this madness is quite mad. So we need the cloth, and it needed to be wet, so we can clean the window. Because people around here are dirty bastards who don't know how to clean their windows. And we get a cutscene.
So, it is inside these warehouses that Prince Woodville's canteens on wheels are filled up, and Hans is there to add his poison.
Bloody Hans.
That siren is a signal to open the doors and let out the carts of poisoned soup, destined for London.
That should be it for Watson. Oh.
It's a miracle that this reservoir is standing. The feet are being eaten away by rust. I wonder what Holmes is
Here we
doing
go.
at this moment.
Having to trigger certain things to get to the next stage. You now control Sherlock Holmes. What a lovely, lovely sentence. Come on, let me move. Come on, Jesus Christ. Just lamps are in place while the game's like, I'm loaded, I'm loaded, I'm loaded. I need that ladder.
The way is clear.
Bloody barbed wire.
Good, I'm in. Now I must find Moriarty.
Now I must find Moriarty.
A telephone line. Interesting. It comes from that large building.
It's not really interesting though, is it? It makes sense as a... That's weird. It's weird that it says soda. We're in England. Soda's kind of an American word, isn't it? How odd. I never noticed that before. Soda drinks.
A target from a firing range.
And then again, this circus could be maybe an American circus touring. No, they wouldn't be touring, would they? They've sort of... That Henry Ferguson guy was the ringmaster, or whatever the hell it called. And he was obviously British.
A target from a firing range. It depicts a lion.
Thank you very much, Sherlock.
The stand's owner must live here.
Oofed. You're just sleeping up bed. Oofed.
If the guard sees me, he will sound the alarm. I must neutralize him, but discreetly. There are probably others, and a fight would attract their attention.
He says fight like he would actually fight him.
It's the stand's till. There
Okay.
is no money, but there is a wooden target.
Just a monkey.
Let's see.
The hyena waited for the hare to come out of his den. He won't be doing that again, both of them starved to death. Oh my word. In the savannah, only the elephant can risk turning its back on the king of the animals without having to fear for its life. Sitting at the edge of the jungle, the chimpanzee didn't notice the vulture that grabbed him with its claws, because the chimpanzee's a dumbass. The giraffe witnessed the scene. What, eating popcorn? Brilliant.
A firing range for children. They have to throw leather balls at the figures of wild animals to knock them over. Elementary. There is a hiding place here. Interesting. I can't see a keyhole to open this hiding place.
Yes. You should probably already figure out what you have to do. Put the wooden targets on here. And Sherlock should say he doesn't have enough information, I think.
I am missing some
Yes.
information.
That's because we need to pick up this book here.
Stan's accounts book.
The accounts book.
Let's look at the book's secret.
Suspicious.
Secret accounts. The Stan's owner must do something other than manage a simple coconut shy, and there is a strange poem about animals.
Turpentine alcohol, 3 times 9 bottles. Delivery Tuesday tobacco. 12 adult rats from Tom. Sold to the restaurant Luigi for today's special. Oh my word. Let's remember to never go to Luigi's restaurant unless you want rats for your din-dins. He got 2 revolvers, typewriter ribbon. The gazelle is dead. It's dangerous to turn your back on the lion.
It's clear that there
Everyone
is
knows
a link
that.
between the poem and the secret accounts and the animal-shaped targets on the stand.
Yes. We kind of already figured that out, Sherlock. Thanks for telling me. So, this is an interesting puzzle, to say the least. We have everything we need. You have to place these animals in the correct orientation. So, all these will be alive. If you press this button here, it means they're dead. And you can turn this one to make them face the other way. So, from what I remember, it's... This one goes at the, say, sitting on the edge of the jungle, the chimpanzee didn't notice the vulture that grabbed it by his claws. So the edge of the jungle just happens to be the left-hand side, not the right-hand side. It has to be the left. So, chimpanzee, vulture, and then the giraffe witnessed the scene. So, the chimpanzee is obviously dead, so you face him down. The vulture has to be facing the correct way, which will be that way? No, it's looking this way. His butt is the other way. Got an head like an owl. And the giraffe witnessed the scene, meaning the giraffe had to see it. So the next one will be the hyenas. The hyena waited for the hare to come out of his burrow, which he will never do again because they both died of hunger. So rabbit and hyena. Both facing each other and both dead. That upset the neighbors because he was neighbors with the hare, so that means the hare needs to go there instead, like that. Then we've got the gazelle is dead. It turned its back on the lion, meaning that it must have to go here. Gazelle is turned its back on the lion. An elephant can stand among predators and risk with its back towards the king of the animals. So if I push this gazelle down, it should be right.
There we are. It is simplicity itself.
Yes, it is.
The Stan's slush fund.
Oh,
I wonder what happened to the owner that he should leave without his savings.
what did happen to the owner? There you go. Oh, it's not too difficult. Just gotta... I think the only difficult part is finding out which location the chimpanzee goes. Because it says the edge of the jungle, yet there's no indication of what the edge is, either left or right, so... It's one or the other, isn't it?
It's open.
Oh.
This building was a menagerie. I'm in the service passage.
A menagerie. That's a posh word to say a zoo.
This cage has been blocked with planks so that the interior is hidden from view.
What's that key? What's it doing in here?
Old bandages. A large syringe for animals of a considerable size, evidently. Everything points to that cage having been used to treat sick animals.
Okay. The key must be for this here. Yes.
Apparently it's a medicine chest for first aid, I presume. The only thing intact is this bottle of ether. If the guard sees me, he will sound the alarm. I must neutralize him, but discreetly. There are probably others, and a fight would attract their attention.
God. Like, no matter how many hours I've put into this game, like, when he in the monologues and he's just gurns around like he's pissed, it's so distracting. It's the same as when you move the camera. Sometimes it just feels super floaty. Like, it just doesn't. It feels weird. Like that. Like, when you look down, it goes down really quickly. Yet it doesn't go up very fast. It's so odd. It's like, what makes it worse is like the game that came up before this ran perfectly fine. Yet this game, it's just got so many. I wonder if it's because it was for the consoles. No. Didn't they awaken and no. I think this was the first one that came out for console. I can't bloody remember now. Oh, well, what am I doing? I'm thinking about random shit and I'm forgetting what to do. Yeah, I can't remember if there was another game that came out for consoles or another Sherlock Holmes game. Because this one came out for console, because I remember playing on the 360. I know Crimes and Punishment came out on the console, I think. I could be lying about that. I really remember playing this on the 360. You need to put, oh god, I think you put money around everywhere.
There. That should interest our guard.
Yes. Let's lure him with the breadcrumbs of cash. This guy has no idea.
Good. My little stratagem is in place.
Excellent.
All I need to do is to wait for him to come back here.
I was checking, just checking if, apparently, Jack the Ripper game came out on, the 360 as well, which I didn't realise. Let's lock him in here. Tee-hee!
I have to shut him up, and quickly.
So we're throwing the ether, because it's a strong sedative, isn't it? Here's an idea. It's like,
Perfect. Thanks to the ether, this baller will sleep for a long time.
Probably forever. I'm pretty sure throwing ether at somebody is probably dangerous. Anything that gives off a smoke like that is definitely not healthy for your body. But, you know, who cares? Fuck that guy. Henry's Picture Show. It's a shame that they killed off Henry. Poor Henry. Boxing Saloon.
Another guard. This place is full of them. I cannot risk a confrontation. He'll see me coming and I'll lose the element of surprise. I'll need to find a way to trap him.
Bloody guards. Well, I just happened to be pointing towards this door.
They must have exhibited those poor wretches in these cages.
My word.
Presented them as being dangerous.
What? Why is there so much blood?
People must have been locked up in here, and they are certain to have been mistreated.
What? No. I mean, you not find the blood a big giveaway that they've been mistreated, you dumbass?
Bearded lady.
Bearded lady. Oh.
This large, empty aquarium held the fair's main attraction,
A mermaid.
the mermaid, Poseidon's daughter.
Where is she? Is she invisible? Is she like develop camouflage? So they've got two freaks. A mermaid and a bearded lady. That's weird. And Wolfman.
This cage is still occupied, not by one of the monsters, but by a poor man. He's still alive, but he's barely human now.
Oh god.
Moriarty must have tested his poison on this poor fellow. If he was freed, he would leap at the throat of the first person he saw.
Oh, that's convenient, isn't it? I just happened to need him to get rid of a guard for me. Can I, oh, I don't have anything to put in there. I wonder.
I suppose it was on this small stage that the monsters were presented to the public.
That's not a very nice place to treat people, is it? I mean, I know these freak shows are basically, they're not done distastefully, are they? And sometimes they're just like, oh, look at this. This woman has a beard. It's like, that's nice. It doesn't make you a freak, though, does it? These poor people, they just have some abnormalities. Yeah, I've never been to a circus like this. I don't think I'll ever want to. It's I don't find it interesting to just look at these poor bloody people paraded around like they're bloody fucking God's piss poor attempt at making humans. Bloody hell.
Boxes. They are balanced, one on top of the other. It would take very little to knock them over.
Oh, thanks. Thinking about the future there, Sherlock. I understand. There should be some rope somewhere. I know there's some rope. What are you looking here?
Ah, here's something interesting.
Oh no.
Hans's diary.
Ah. Dear diary, today I was a bastard. That's what this diary says. Do we want to read all this? The ramblings of a crazy bastard? I'm not reading all that crap. Let's just go to the, all that again. Oh god. I'm going to skim through this because I really didn't give a shit to read about Hans's diary. Why is he writing a diary for? Just give me a bloody cutscene of him writing it. Moriarty's behind schedule. I've been waiting for 2 days for the materials I needed for my research to be delivered. Oh god. He will have to get a move on if he wants me to take over the work he has started. My patience has its limits. I have filled my time by reorganizing this place. An old fair sideshow exhibiting monsters. I don't know if Moriarty is aware of the irony of this situation. It probably is. But to calm my impotence... Sorry, impotence. Wow. You can tell I don't read. To calm my impatience, they brought me a subject at the end of the morning. A dirty old tramp in good health. He will do. I'm going to test the last evolution of Moriarty's poison on him. Night is falling and the test is finished. We had to kill the subject. Oh my word. His continuous roaring annoyed the boss. I can understand now why he needs my genius to help him advance his research. God damn. Tuesday, the material hasn't arrived and a bright note I received 2 new subjects. A man in his 50s. Thin, hairy and toothless. Another who is younger but equally repulsive. We should be thankful for cleaning such parasites off the street. Wow. I was working in the middle of the night by screams and laughter which seemed to be coming from the freak show. 2 of Moriarty's men, completely drunk, had locked 2 subjects up in the same cage before giving them a bowl of poison. They were amusing themselves by betting on the combat's outcome. I hurried off to warn the boss. We can't waste materials this way. I rather liked their expressions when they woke up a few hours later in the cages instead of the tramps. It must have been the worst hangover of their lives. Wow, so I'm guessing I guess they put 2 of them together, so Moriarty put those 2 together instead. Yeah, I guess they're dead now. I finally received the materials and ingredients which will allow me to modify Moriarty's poison. The first experiment is going to be very simple. I'm going to make a few drops of my famous will-annihilating poison and mix them with Moriarty's. We will see if that is sufficient to make them obey orders. It's a failure. The subjects didn't even have the time to kill each other. They died less than 30 seconds after being given the poison. The effects of 2 poisons didn't add up as expected. On the other hand, it keeps the dosage in mind. A poison that fries the brain so quickly cannot be called a failure. Cyanide does that, mate. I worked all night to develop the second dosage. This time I distilled the curative definitively? Differently? Distilled the what? Who knows? It's just basically he made a less powerful version. I also modified Moriarty's poison, but he was not very open about its compositions. Of course he wasn't. I had to improvise. Another failure. The subjects did not die immediately, but they was as uncontrollable as the others. The only difference of note is the wounds of the tissue damage did not get any worse after the poison was taken. That's of no interest. We're not here to treat them. Moriarty assisted in the experiment. He did not say anything and left in silence. He wasn't pleased. I think he's starting to get impatient. Moriarty's becoming impatient. The idiot doesn't understand anything and he dares to question my talent. He was the one who came to find me to modify his poison. He'd been trying for weeks without success and now he wants me to succeed in 2 days. We had an overheated discussion about it, but I finally got him to admit that a chemist has no choice but to bow to the rules of science. It's nature that sets men the rhyme and not the other way around. I tried another dosage. The third test was a semi-failure. This time the subject alternated the bouts of madness with a fall of blood pressure. It went from enraged to comatose within a few seconds. Oh. Moriarty doesn't want to wait any longer. This morning he openly threatened me. He was giving me 2 days to obtain a conclusive result. He gave me to understand, that's weird, that past this deadline, I will go from being a researcher to becoming the guinea pig. I'm confident enough. I was able to worm the components of his poison out of him. And as I thought, the problem isn't with my creation, it's with his. His idiot apprentice chemist who worked on it made it so many mistakes in the dosages that I am amazed it produces the effects it does. So, Moriarty wanted Hans's help, yet he didn't want to tell him how his poison was made. What? Wow, what a bastard. I spent more than 10 hours going over the dosages of Moriarty's poison. I have finally obtained something sufficiently pure to be mixed with my personal composition, and the subject must be delivered as soon as possible. I can't wait to see the results. I succeeded. The problem wasn't with my poison, but with theirs. It was too strong and modified, and the subject proved to be obedient without losing any of his fury. Truly, he did not eat his... Oh. True, he did eat his own hand, but this time it was because I told him to. Oh my god. We obtained the objective at any time. We already composed in a large section of London's population. The choice of Whitechapel area is a natural one. It is there that the greatest number of starving can be found. So at the given moment, these thousands of ragged soldiers can invade the city and spread chaos such as the British Empire has never known. Nothing can stop their fury. The devastation will last for the time that the boss needs to seize power and place the pathetic clown Woodville on the throne. Then the killing frenzy will stop at its own accord. I programmed the poison to last for 24 hours. After that, the subject would join their victims in the paradise of the flea-ridden. So you're just going to have them all murdered anyway. I'm not going to be able to mass produce this wonderful poison. Moriarty has set his men to cleaning up the warehouse below. It is a perfect place and it even has an enormous reservoir on the roof. The boss came in person to pay me part of the money I was promised for my work. I'll have the rest when his plan has succeeded. I will soon be incredibly rich. He did all this for money. But when we met this guy in the prison, he didn't seem like his motivation was money. It seemed like his motivation was he did it just because he could. But now for some reason he's come on off as somebody who's doing it for money. How weird. But they've changed his character completely.
What a dreadful diary. That Hans is the only real monster ever to have frequented this attraction.
Yeah, bloody Hans. Oh god, another bloody letter. My friends, as you all know, next week our adventure must come to an end. We also know that I'm not good at speeches, so I keep this brief. He says, writing 600 pages of an apology note. After all the years I've spent with you, I can honestly say that I think of you as my family. I'm going to miss all of you, but before the fair closes, we've got one last week in business, and during this time, I want you all to give the very best of yourselves so that the public will never forget us. So before going back to work, here's a list of jobs for the week. Roger cleans the aquarium, Alice is the kitchen, Tom the pest controls, Martha is responsible for the keys to the place, and Keith upkeep of the rails and the cages. H. Ferguson, oh, poor Fergie. So he was the Fun Fairs director. I wonder why they went out of business. Is it because he sold it to Moriarty?
The bearded lady kept the key to this exhibition. Interesting.
Bearded lady. I think that's it for that one, huh?
Chemistry material.
Oh, that's something we don't really give a shit about.